everybody. I have a book haul. Imagine that. I swung by the Little Free Library today because I had a couple books I was unhauling. That Chocolate Magic one that I ranted about a while back. And then I also finished V is for Vengeance by Sue Grafton as part of the Kinsey Milhone series. And I'm not keeping those because I don't have all of them and I don't see the point. I'm not going to read them again. So I put that one in there. And I found all of this. And I didn't take everything. I was good. I left stuff. Let's start with these big ones because they're kind of awkward. It's all kind of awkward. It doesn't want to... Alright. Stay. Don't fall. Okay, so we'll start with... I found a copy of Food and Wine magazine. I figured I'll count that as a cookbook. This is... April 2021, spring wine issue. I don't know anything about wine. I don't drink wine. But those chops on the front of that cover look really good. And then I found two children's books by Jenna Bush Hager and Barbara Pierce Bush. And we have Sisters First and the Superpower Sisterhood. These are President George W.'s daughters. But it looks like this one's probably going to talk about diversity because of the really diverse characters on the cover. And this is probably going to be about them being sisters. I don't know though. I haven't read them yet, but I thought they looked like fun. I will probably do story time videos on those if they're good. Then I found 3 cookbooks. This one is Instructions and Recipes for Your KitchenAid Stand Mixer. I just so happen to have 2 KitchenAid stand mixers, mine and the one that was my mom's. This one is Cake Pops, Brownies, and More. Who doesn't love a good cake pop or brownie? And then this is Super Moist Cakes. Raspberry lemonade cake. That looks really good. Yeah, I want to try that one. So these are going to go in one of my many bins of cookbooks. I need to get a couple more bins. I'm running out of space. And then we start in on all these paperbacks. And they're like all classics, I think, except maybe this one. And it may be, I don't know. This is The Way to Rainy Mountain by N. Scott Momaday, illustrated by Al Momaday. On the back it says Literature / American Indians. University of New Mexico Press. Let's see here. Looks like it's about the Kiowa Indians, and the author is a member of the Kiowa tribe, born in Oklahoma, grew up on reservations in the Southwest. Let's see, I'm not sure what this is about. The Way to Rainy Mountain recalls the journey of Taimi, the sacred sun dance doll, and of Taimi's people in 3 unique voices. The legendary, the historical, and the contemporary. It also the personal journey of N. Scott Momaday, who on a pilgrimage to the grave of his Kiowa grandmother traversed the same route taken by his forebears, and in so doing confronted his Kiowa heritage. It is an evocation of 3 things in particular: a landscape that is incomparable, a time that is gone forever, and the human spirit which endures. And it's really thin, so it ought to be a fairly quick read, I think. And there's a lot of pictures. Yeah, it's only 89 pages. So I think this ought to be a fairly quick read. And I'm always looking to read more native voices, own voices kind of things. And then we have Night by Elie Wiesel. This is a phenomenal book. I've read it before. It's also not very long. Um, it's a phenomenal book. If you want a first-hand account of what it was like in a concentration camp during World War II, this is it. He talks about his experiences and things, and it's phenomenal. I picked up a copy of the play Our Town by Thornton Wilder. I'm pretty sure we read that in high school. But geez, that was over 30 years ago. Kind of hard to remember for sure, but I'm almost positive. I have the 25th anniversary edition of The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I read one of his books, but I don't think it was this one. I think it was, does it have listed his titles in here? Or am I asking too much? The Alchemist. Yeah. We all know it's a great book. I don't need 50 people telling me it's a great book. I might have read The Devil and Miss Prim. Veronica Decides to Die is also a really well-known book, but I haven't read that one yet. Well, he's got a whole long list of titles. I don't know, I don't know if y'all can read that or not, but... And again, it's not a really long book. I'm going to save it for next year, though, because I'm going to do some reading books in translation. This is 179 pages. So, again, not real long. This is Alan Paton's Cry the Beloved Country. I started reading this in high school and didn't finish. So, that'll be a goal. Finish it. The author was from South Africa. It says he died in South Africa in 1988. That would have been about the time I was reading this. And let's see, we have A Midsummer Night's Dream and Macbeth, otherwise known as the Scottish play. Good old Shakespeare. And then we have Sherlock Holmes, Hound of the Baskervilles, and The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Complete and Unabridged, by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So I think I made out like a bandit today. There was some really good stuff in there. I'm excited. And I have quite a few that I plan to read next year in translation. I don't know if the Mama Day counts as a translated work. I will have to look that up. But definitely the Coelho and the Peyton, I believe, will. And Elie Wiesel also counts as in translation. Because he was, I think it said, born in Transylvania. I didn't know that. But I know his name is German. So I believe he speaks German and probably wrote in German originally. Anyway, phenomenal book. If you ever get a chance to read Night, read it. And I believe it's a part of a trilogy, but I haven't read any other books by him. And I would like to. So I will, when I sit down to read that one, I will see if I can get the other ones in that series and read them all together. So yeah, I think I did well finding books. And right now it is 12:11, so it's just after noon, and I haven't been to bed yet. I got off work at 8 o'clock this morning and had to run errands, didn't get home till 11, and have been on the phone back and forth with my bank because an order I placed back at the beginning of October has never been shipped, and everything refers me to a different company. And I tried contacting them. The only way they have for contact is email, and the emails bounce back as undeliverable because there's no such email address. So we're going to go through the bank and dispute it, which means they're going to shut off my debit card for couple weeks until I can get a new one. And I'm going to have to reset all my things I have set up for auto pay and all that. So that's, I'm not looking forward to it, but it is what it is. I want my money back. I mean, if they're not going to send me the stuff, I want my money back. And the reason they're going to cancel my card is just for my protection in case it really is a scam and they've already got all my information. Luckily, they've only taken what they were supposed to for the payment, but you don't know. I mean, this is obviously some sort of shady deal. So, anyway, enough about that. That's all the books I have to haul right now. I was just looking to make sure I didn't have any more laying around somewhere. I've got a couple library books. I might do a story time on this one. Wombat said come in. Got that one from the library. It was kind of cute. It's about the Australia wildfires. And picked up James Patterson, The Perfect Assassin, a Doc Savage thriller. I don't know if I want to start a new series. I don't know. We'll see. I might read that one just because I have it here. And I am still currently reading Beloved. I finished Tomi, I guess that's how you pronounce it, by Junji Ito. It was a 740 something page manga. Very weird. I liked Uzumaki better. I will say that. I liked Uzumaki a lot better. Still a really good book, Tomi. It was just really... You could tell it was an earlier work. It's about this girl named Tomi who keeps getting killed, like brutally murdered and cut into pieces, and she keeps regenerating. And it's just very weird. Every time she gets into some sort of relationship with a man, she ends up getting murdered, and the whole process starts again. And she can regenerate into multiples because each piece regenerates a whole other Tomi. So, gee whiz, how many of them are running around now in Japan? There's so many. Because, I mean, she was killed I don't know how many different times in the book. And if every time she regenerates multiples, then everybody in Japan is Tomi by this point. And it was very bizarre. Very bizarre. And the ending kind of is ambiguous. And I don't know. It was a little bizarre. Definitely worth a read if you're into manga and you like horror manga especially. I think Junji Ito is probably one of the top in the genre. The artwork is good. Again, I thought that Uzumaki was better with the artwork. It's just because he's had more experience by that point. But definitely worth taking a look at. Currently reading a book about Dewey the Library Cat. I think it's called Dewey's 9 Lives. Let's see. See if I can reach it here. Yeah, Dewey's 9 Lives. The Legacy of the Small Town Library Cat Who Inspired Millions. I am just over halfway. This is taking me forever to read because of the author. And I say that she did a whole book about her and Dewey. She found how she found Dewey in the library book return, and he was almost frozen to death, and she nursed him back to health, and he became the library cat, and all the adventures with him. She had a whole book about her and Dewey. This book is supposed to be 9 other people who have relationships with cats, may or may not have met Dewey, may or may not have met her, but she puts herself in everybody else's story. Like the one I just read was called Christmas Cat, and it's about this lady named Vicky who just happens to share the same first name with the author of the book, and they make a comment about that, about how they spell it unusual. Well, I don't think it's spelled unusual because I know a lot of people who spell it the same way. So I don't know why they think Vicki is so unusual. And the story about the actual finding of the cat and everything was really compelling. It's really good. That was the first half. Then the second half is where she gets more into the woman's life. And the author is like, well, Vicky is a single mom. So am I. Vicky lived in a small town. So do I. Vicky had an abusive relationship with her ex-husband. So did I. Vicky's brother died by suicide. So did mine. I mean, seriously, do you have to make it all about you? I would rather have more stories about other people and their cats and less about the author. The author already had her book. She should have put herself in there and not in everybody else's story. Every story in here so far has been somehow about her. She's making everybody about her. And I'm finding that to be rather annoying. So I have, let's see, how many more stories do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4 more stories to struggle through. And I don't know. That's at least another 100 pages. Oh, more than that. 130 or 40 pages. I don't know if I can do it. I just don't know. Because she had her chance. Why is she putting herself in everybody else's story? People she hasn't even met, and she's putting herself in their story. I mean, I get it. You had some similarities with this lady. But that doesn't mean that you should put yourself in her story. Let her have her time. The first one, it made sense that she was part of the story because it was a lady who actually knew Dewey and came into the library, and they actually met each other and talked and had some sort of relationship going on through the library system. So it made sense that she was in that story. The next story, she didn't even know the people. So why is she putting herself in their story? I don't understand. Is she that insecure that she has to be in everybody else's story? So I don't know. I'm struggling with Dewey. At this point, it's a low 3, maybe a 2.5. But if it continues the same way, it's going to keep going down as far as the reading. It may end up at 2 by the time I'm done. Just because of the author sticking herself in everybody else's story. So I don't know, it is what it is, I guess, but man, it's frustrating. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up now. I keep saying that and then I go off on another tangent. Somebody said they liked my tangents, so here you go. Here's some tangents for you. Yeah, I got to get some sleep. I'm getting really loopy right now, so yeah. So I'm going to end it here. Remember to do all the YouTube things. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Ring the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Maybe. If YouTube decides that you get to know that information. Otherwise, just kind of keep an eye out. I pop up every so often. Nobody has responded about the Advent calendars that I asked about. Do you prefer open one calendar and do the whole calendar in one sitting? Or do you prefer, since I have like 6 or 7 calendars, that we open day by day and then you get like 24 videos of us opening 6 or 7 calendars? So basically 6 or 7 videos versus 24 videos. Do you want more? Or do you just want it to be like, okay, done? And I tell you, at least 4 of them have chocolate in them, so I will be bouncing off the walls if we do 24 days of chocolate all in one sitting. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I tried to get the cheese one from Aldi, and they were sold out by the time I got there. But I did get a couple of the chocolate ones, so there's that. I don't know. I gotta go. I'm losing what's left of my mind. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye.